there, everybody?
Yo, we back again.
What up, though? How y'all doing today? You know what I'm saying? It's Sunday. We doing it once again on Polymath Radio. You know what I'm saying?
And here on a Sunday.
On a Sunday.
Laid back Sunday.
Sunday morning.
We all sober. We all sober today.
Bible Belt.
Kinda. What you said, Andy? Kinda. We was through last night. We was tossed.
Hey, man.
We was tossed last night, everybody. We was straight up drunkies last night.
Bo had to just straight up tell, excuse me, y'all, I'm sorry. It was the grapes.
It was the grapes. The grapes made me do it. You know what I'm saying? But it's Sunday. You know how we do it on Sundays, man. You know, Sundays always dedicated to the art, the literature, the poetry, or whatever, the things of life that, you know what I'm saying, that keep us going, keep us creative. You know what I'm saying? That's what Sunday's all about on Polymath. You know what I'm saying? Today, we have spoken word. Sunday today is going to be about, yes, you guessed it, poetry. You know what I'm saying? It's such a powerful medium, you know what I'm saying, for expressing yourself, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know too many poets in my life. I mean, if you call a rapper a poet, but you know, that's different. We're going to get into that, you know what I'm saying? But today we got 3 special spoken word artists in here today. Right. You know what I'm saying? We're going to let them introduce themselves. Let's start in the corner with my man. Why don't you introduce yourself to the people for you, big dog?
What's good? My name Chachi.
All right. What's up with you, Chachi? Where you from, big dog?
Yeah. From South Bend, Indiana.
Indiana?
That's good. Midwest in the building.
For sure.
You already know.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And to your right.
It's Mika. What's good with y'all?
What's up, Mika? Wasn't you on our show before?
You know it. The LGBT community in the house right now.
Uh-oh. Y'all already know. Y'all gotta check the show out to find out what show she was on.
Please.
But and immediately to her right, we have Miss Allison. I'm gonna introduce you myself because you've already been on the show, you know what I'm saying, and you the one who kind of inspired us to do this. Right. So, you know what I'm saying. This is what you did, because on one of the last shows you killed it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying. You took us. Right. You took us clean out on a positive note. You know what I'm saying, and I know all that lingered with everybody who watched it. You know what I'm saying. So we gonna give them some more of that today. You know what I'm saying. But to fully understand what spoken word is, you know what I'm saying, we gonna dig a little deep into these artists, you know, into their past, into, you know, their present and their future, and we gonna find out, you know, what keeps them going in the spoken word art. You know what I'm saying? So let's get this started. You already know.
What's good, man?
How should we start this off? Cause
I mean, it's like I'm at a loss because I really don't know where to start. Usually everything else would be kind of easy. So you know what I mean?
Well, let's start off with a history of poetry.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Now, does any of our guests who are poets and those of the spoken word know any history about poetry? Or not even just the start of history, but like, all right, let's say about the Harlem Renaissance. We'll start there.
Right.
You have your Langston Hughes. You know what I'm saying? I don't know too many other people myself. I am horrible, so I don't know.
Is there any other people?
Edgar Allan Poe. Edgar Allan Poe.
All right, see, that's what I'm talking about. There we go. Well, you gotta play dumb to get them to be smart. People know I'm just.
Okay.
You know, I'm just talking shit.
I just thought it was Langston Hughes and.
Right.
Maya Angelou.
Nikki Giovanni.
Oh yes, Nikki Giovanni. All right. Yeah. See,
it's coming back.
We glad y'all here already. Y'all done gave us another history lesson. Shit, I feel bad. I'm supposed to know that. Didn't they teach us that?
They taught us that.
Oh.
Nah, they ain't teach us that.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah.
They talk about the white people.
Right.
Yeah.
Whoever they are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna start it off. To you, what is poetry? Let's start off in the back with my man. What to you? What is spoken word? Let's say poetry, because we well beyond poetry now. We already know what poetry is. What's spoken word to you, my man?
Man, it's just like a way of life, how you perceive the world, how you see everything, how you go about it, what you feel. That's all really what it is. What you got inside you and what everybody presents towards you.
Right. Okay. What you say, Ms. Mika? How do you feel about spoken word? What is spoken word to you?
Spoken word to me is just my thoughts and feelings for, like, you know, day-to-day things. You know, if I'm upset, it's how I feel. I might not be able to tell somebody, but I can tell them through, you know, my poetry.
Right. Okay. Ms. Allison, what about you?
I agree with Mika. It's all about, you know, touching the life of somebody else through something that you've been through, you know. And some people just express themselves better on paper.
Okay. Okay. When expressing yourself with spoken word, I noticed that spoken word is more of a performance type thing. You have to really show the people what your work. It's not that you can just write it down and expect somebody to just read it and feel the power of what the words you display. So is spoken word more of a performance type thing?
Yeah. You gotta get people to feel you, and you can't just read it. Like that's me personally. I don't like when people read my poetry. I have to read it to them.
Yeah, because they read it wrong.
Right, you
gotta
put
the right emotions in
you know what I'm
there.
saying?
Them the facial expressions, you gotta understand it.
They ain't got the pauses and everything else.
You just want to read it like it's paper, newspapers.
Yeah.
So you definitely have to display what feelings and tones and moods that you're trying to display into your music. It's nothing I could just pick up and say, okay, I'm gonna just get you guys and stuff and I'm just gonna read it. You know what I'm saying? I think that's poetry when you could just read it and say roses are red, violets are blue. You know, I love you too and all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think poetry is. But spoken word is spoken word. First it starts off with an action. Spoken. It's been done already. It's been like you delivering it. So I really respect that. So where can we hear some spoken word? Like let's give us a common spoken word crowd within a club. What's the energy like in the cafes? And anybody experience open mic nights? I know
it differentiates depending on where you are.
Okay.
In Atlanta,
right?
I can't tell you about one.
I can.
What was your experience?
Apache. I went to the Apache Cafe. You know,
that's a good spot right there.
Sunday nights is popping. You know what I'm saying? Open mic, hip hop, whatever you want to do. In the front, it's like real laid back. It's mellow. It's dark. It's candles. You can eat. You can drink. Listen to poetry, or you can go in the back behind closed doors and do adult things and whatever else.
Right.
So it's real chill. It's
Jamaican
like all
spot.
Exactly. They play reggae music and incense and everything else. So you know, that's the only spot I really go to like that.
Okay. Okay. What's the energy like in there? Like, let's say after everybody's done, what's the feeling? What's the energy like after everybody has spoken? I know it's just full of spoken word. That's just oozing out. So what's the energy like afterwards?
Like
electric.
Like you feel
like a sense of relief almost that you can heard somebody spit something to you like, damn, I ain't know nobody else was going through no shit like that, you know?
Right.
And this person just got up on stage and told me my whole life story, you know?
Right.
So if people, I mean, as an artist, it's different though. You know, as a spoken word artist, it's different than not being able to write and express yourself. You know, that's something. It's a talent. You know what I mean? Like everybody can't do that. You know, everybody can't express themselves on paper. Some people
gift.
Keep their feelings pent up inside and stuff. You know, so
all that stress to kill you.
Yeah,
release in some kind of way.
Right. That's definitely understandable. So I hear you say writing. So when you writing, what drives your art? What drives your craft? What do you really put into your art? Emotions? Is it more emotions or is this more real life stuff?
I was always told that one can only write through one's experiences. So it would be hard for me to write about something that I haven't been through.
Right.
So to me, it's just whenever something happens, it's write it down.
But you are able to write about something you ain't been through. If somebody sit down and talk to you long enough, you can write that story about it.
You know?
Right.
I agree.
Now is that like, you know, in a sense, is that like flattery when you take another person's story with somebody who sat down and talked to you and you kind of empathize with it or you can relate to it to where you can put it in words yourself and get that same emotion off that he couldn't give off? Do you see it as a form of flattery or just, you know what I'm saying, that just came out that way? You feel me? Like, are you going into it thinking like I'm writing this piece, looking out for this guy to just, you know what I'm saying, share this story with me, or I'm just like it was on me and I'm hitting it?
It was just there. Like if somebody sit there and speak it, I'm sitting there listening to it, and I can relate and be like, all right, some of the stuff been happening to me in my lifetime, but other stuff I can't relate to, but I can still hear it. It's like it just come natural. I can feel their pain or feel their love, their joy or whatever, and I can put it down to paper and just express it like they need to express.
Okay.
Some people come to me because they're able to write down their thoughts, but they wanna hear me make it rhyme or something. Like everybody has this big misconception that poetry is supposed to rhyme or whatever. It's really just about getting your thoughts down, right? You know, they just want to hear it rhyme. They want to hear it sound good, you know. So,
Okay.
Is there a rhythm to poetry? That takes me to my next question. Like, you know, I mean, because I know, like you said, a lot of people, like you said, rose are red, violets are blue. This is like the basic conception of poetry. I mean, to the untrained mind. You feel what I'm saying? So, like, is there a rhythm when it come down to you writing your poetry? You feel what I'm saying? Do you hear beat? Anything like?
Nope.
It just
Not unless
flows.
I'm doing it on purpose. Nope.
It just flows. It just naturally just goes.
Say it ain't no
That's
4/4 count
right.
like when you writing hip hop or something.
Right.
Okay.
Now, I might listen to music in the background and be inspired by some of the
Yeah.
words, but
That's
I'm
the
not.
ultimate
That's
freestyle.
right.
That's the ultimate freestyle right
Yeah,
there.
it's
You
off
feel
the
me?
top. Yeah, I feel that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So is writing poetry a stressful task?
Nah.
Is it like, I mean, is this easy? It just come
It
easy?
just come
So
natural.
you never got hung up, writer's block?
Yeah,
You
everybody.
don't get that because it's writing in some form.
Right.
Because you might start on a piece and you ain't got the right feeling for it at that moment in time. You can put it to the back burner
Right.
and start on a whole nother piece another day and come back to it.
Right.
That's the thing about writing. You can always come back to something you started on and improvise and improve upon it.
Right.
So with saying that, is it true to say that a writing is never done? Or are some writers just that was it for that one? Or are all writers like incomplete works? Even if you got an end to it where you just leave it like, okay, yeah, that's cool enough to leave right there.
I say it's a mixture of all because you have incomplete work because you can go back to something you wrote and you done finished it, but you didn't have more experiences in your life and you can just keep adding on to it.
Right.
So you can always build upon something. And then other things I'm talking about, you might only have like 3-4 stanzas, and that's everything you need to stay and it's finished. Ain't no more need to go to it.
Right. That's what's up, man.
I like that shit. I ain't never really got down to writing poetry.
I mean, I
mean-
mess with the pros a little bit.
I mean, y'all, you guys rap, man. Y'all lyricists
Y'all
in the way
lyricists.
y'all are. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh yeah,
I was
we
a
had
romantic
Muffy up
poet
in
in
here.
high school.
it is like
Went to the track,
lyricists.
very nice.
So
You feel
so
what
I
I'm saying?
just speaking with that is, do you feel what is the main difference between rap, hip hop, you know, that type of deal, and spoken word? Since people have the conception it's supposed to rhyme all the time and you gotta have a beat to it, what is the main difference between the two? Because there is a difference.
You ask me, I think it got a lot to do with money too. You know, like a lot of these rappers could be poets, but they have to have a beat behind it because they know that's gonna make them money. And then you got the spoken word artists who my main goal is to let you hear what I wrote and hoping that it touch your life. You know,
Right.
I don't care.
So paint a
I ain't
story
never
with
honestly.
no
I've never
words.
been paid for writing like for performing or whatever. You know, so I think that's a big difference too between a rapper and a poet.
So, I mean, anybody else want to elaborate on that?
Nah,
I mean,
that's
you
pretty
pretty
much
much
it.
nailed it right there.
All right, that takes me to my next question. Do you think there is a place in mainstream entertainment, you know, like for poetry and spoken word, you feel what I'm saying? And, you know, if it goes on and goes to the mainstream, you think it can maintain its integrity? Because rap done got salted down. I mean, everybody
Watered
do this,
down.
like, more than that. Putting down, all type of, every type, all type of everything. So, I mean, do you think it can still retain? I mean, because it's powerful, though.
Poetry been around for a long time, and it's always going to be around because people always going through everything, and everybody has their experiences.
Right.
And yes, it can maintain itself as an art form because you always going to have what you do. You always going to feel yourself or feel somebody else, and you can always present it. Just like what it is. Def Jam did Deaf Poets and stuff like that with spoken word output. They maintained for a while, but HBO dropped it. But still to the point, it can maintain itself if you got the right audience for it. Look at all these cafes around the country where people do spoken words and just straight poetry.
Right.
So it can maintain itself. It's just the object is, does anybody want to put something behind it and let these artists actually get out there and present themselves?
Right. That. Feel that, you hear me? That.
I was gonna say like to say like, you know how poetry has always been around, only kind of bridge the gap between poetry and hip hop. There was an artist in New York, a cat by the name of Pinero. You know what I'm saying? I believe his name was Augustus Pinero. You feel me? And the rapper Styles P, that's what the P stand for, Pinero. But he was the first, say, true spoken word artist, where he was rapping in like arpeggiated form. You know what I'm saying? That same thing Marvin Gaye did on Trouble Man, where he got the I've been some places that you know what I'm saying? Scatting basically. You know what I'm saying? Like he took it from the scatting to, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about what's going on in the streets right now. You feel me? But it's without no beats. I don't need no drums. I don't need no boom bap. I don't need none of that. It's just me right here. But the style of his flow was like what rappers are doing today. So you know what I'm saying. So to say like poetry has always been around, it still exists. Rap is just like a branch of that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just a branch of poetry in its truest form. Now you just add instrumentation to it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can't really sit here and say, you know what I'm saying, like if spoken word can't survive, neither can hip hop.
That's
You
true.
feel me?
Because they hand in hand.
They hand in hand.
Because what hip hop came from originally from the scat masters and everything back in the day, and then because they had their little beat and they was scatting and everything, and then hip hop evolved from that. And scatting originally came from poetry, who poets on the corners and everything else. And if you go back to medieval time, what you had, them dudes that was standing on the corner with them little lutes and everything else, and they rhyming about what's going on in the castles and the kingdoms and everything else. So it just kept evolving until what it is today.
Exactly, no doubt.
So what are your influences? What are your influences? I mean, who are your influences? Is it people? Is it a certain spoken word artist that came before you that, you know, inspired you to say, well, you know, I'm definitely gonna get it done. You know, I'm gonna get in here. I love it.
Nikki Giovanni.
Nikki Giovanni.
That's my total inspiration right there.
That's what's up.
Much love to Nikki Giovanni.
For the simple fact, I don't know if y'all ever read it, but I know y'all done heard it. The revolution will not be televised. That is some of the strongest stuff ever. Or Maya Angelou, Why the Caged Bird Sings.
Right.
Now, if y'all don't know what it is, y'all need to go look it up and go pay attention, read a book, because how they hide something from a nigga, you put it in a book.
Exactly. That's what Marcus Garvey said. You feel me? If I put $50 down in a book right next to it, a nigga will snatch the 50 and take off and leave the book sitting right there.
And you got more power in that book than anything. That book could tell you how to make 5,000 more out of that $50 bill.
Exactly.
But they were just happy with that 50.
Exactly.
It's called contentment.
So you hear that? They putting it in books to keep it from us. Y'all read. You know what I'm saying? Get your vernacular up.
Right.
I was inspired by Tupac. I mean,
who wasn't inspired by Tupac?
That was gonna be my example for hip hop and poetry.
I had me rapping in the mirror for that. Picture me rolling in my father. I was doing my own thing here. Pop make it feel like you could do anything. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what was one of y'all greatest Pac work that y'all done heard from his poetry? Not his rhyming, but his poetry.
His poetry, Only for the Righteous.
Only for the Righteous? You
feel me?
Okay.
And like, he never performed it. It was just written and it was released in the book that he had, Only for the Righteous. But when they came out with the Rose Volume 2, you know what I'm saying? And Yo-Yo turned it into a rap. And it's like she did not change not one word from that poem. And it was just like,
it was powerful stuff.
Right. This nigga did not ever put that on a beat or nothing. That was a poem he had wrote. You feel me? Just talking about, you know what I'm saying, the struggles it is to be a real nigga and the things that you accept in life that you don't accept in life. You feel me? And this was just a thought that he was having.
And like the scales balanced out.
You feel me? Took it, got the beat, and went right with it. I mean, was killing that shit, yo. So I had to think like, damn, is she right there? You know what I'm saying? Like, hold on, but Only for the Righteous, I read that poem before. But that poem, you know what I'm saying, it's inspiring to me. And just to see it flip like that, just let me know, like, all these old poems I got, I can one day just snatch the mugs and go behind the beat like, okay, I'm spitting.
And make it happen.
Yes, sir.
What about the rose that grew from the concrete?
That's actually his most popular one. You feel me? Because that described who he was.
True indeed. Because you got to think about it. Everybody in the city, let's say 5 million people in the city, walking on the sidewalk day by day. Don't nobody take the time to look at the beauty of how this rose came through this concrete and grew through all this trouble and all this traffic and everything else and became something. It's still beautiful through all this hard concrete, steel and everything else, but it happened to grow. So that's just strength within itself right there.
I got a lot of poetry.
Oh yeah.
You ain't
the
seen
brother was a poet before he was a rapper.
Have a whole show.
I mean, I knew he had a little poetry, but I didn't know some was like.
Oh yeah, son was a straight poet.
Oh yeah, though.
A straight poet.
Yeah,
you remember?
A lot of things ain't get published. Like,
what's the movie, man?
It wasn't meant for music.
Damn, what's the movie, man? Gridlocked. At the end, the little joint he did, life is a traffic jam. You know what I'm saying? That was a poem he had written. You feel me?
And
that's how he actually got the role. You know what I'm saying? That's how he actually got the role. He showed that to my man, Curtis Von D. Hall, I think that's his name or something like that. The director and stuff. He was the drug dealer, the big kingpin drug dealer in the movie. Him. That's how he actually did that. You know what I'm saying? It was through that poem, like, oh well, you know.
See?
You feel me? But yeah, that poem right there, man.
Tupac, thank you for your inspiration. You know what I'm saying?
Touched us on many levels, Pop. You already know.
We about to damn near cry up in here. And
everybody got quiet. Man, did you feel me?
I ain't mad at you. You know
Allah blessing to you. Allah blessing.
But definitely. You know what I'm saying? But, where everybody from? Let me ask you, where you say you from Indiana? Where you from, me?
The UK.
The UK? Uh-oh. Where you gonna claim, Allison? Where you gonna claim? You from GA or you from the top?
I'm from DC.
From DC.
Chocolate City.
What is the spoken word scene in the areas that you all originally from? In the areas that y'all been right? What was the spoken word scene like? Is there a scene in Indiana?
Little none.
Little none.
If you want to really see it, you got to go like to Chi-Town. I would say Gary, but ain't nothing in Gary but burnt down houses. But really, you had to go like to Chi-Town, Cleveland, D-Town, and stuff like that to really get to the scene and feel the scene.
What about you, Mika? In the UK, I know they always.
Oh, they're everywhere in the UK. They got real, but it's a lot of white people. You know, it's cool.
Right.
You don't see so many black people up there,
right.
you know, but they do.
Yeah, they all about poetry in French and.
Yeah, but it's mostly in French. But it's cool though, cause like you just said, you don't understand a word they saying, but you can feel it.
Right.
Because of when they just deliver it.
It's the emotion.
Yeah.
So I don't really have to know what you talk about, but the emotion that you give off.
That they present with the way that they deliver. That's all you need.
And that's what rappers like. That's what I think is the difference between rap and it's some rap that you hear and it touch you. You know what I'm saying? But without that music, would it really touch you? You know what I'm saying? That's what I think. Without that background, because that's all one thing. You just like one pie. You know, the crust tastes good, but it ain't a pie. You know what I'm saying? The whole thing make it what it is. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the difference, because if you can deliver your words without anything masking it or covering it up or distracting me from what your words are, and then I feel that, shit.
Now, if you took the beat and instruments away from a lot of these rappers nowadays and just listen to their words, they'd be absolute garbage.
And you can see,
Think about how many swag artists you got that right now. Anybody can put something together and make music and people will buy it. Because
we heard yesterday, Ted. Every day I go out.
Boy, that nigga turn shit on.
We had to get him the fuck out of
here. But that's the same thing with like Gucci. Like every other sentence, you burr. What you burring for? I don't
tell
get
me
it.
One
like,
song he ain't said Gucci.
I mean,
one.
But the dude talented dude. If you actually talk to the dude, you feel what I'm saying? Like I seen interviews with this guy. You feel what I'm saying?
He's very smart, but he needs to put that in.
That's true, but that's not what's
necessary. The one thing everybody forgot is he's a poet.
He's a poet.
Gucci Man is a poet. When he killed that brother and went to jail, he was in jail writing poetry and releasing it to the public. Like, you know, this is what I'm feeling right now. And was really talking about his struggle. That's what garnered him a lot of respect. You feel me? It's like, you know, you understand, like, all right, he understands that this is a money-making market he's in.
Yeah.
You feel me? And if you a dope boy, you gonna sell dope. And what's the dope they selling right now? Talking about selling dope.
Right. Pretty much.
You know, so he's trying to make money, but at the heart of all of it, you got to look at what he does. You know what I'm saying? His stuff he does for the community. You know, what outreaches are he giving? You know what I'm saying? Because, like I say, the brother's a poet, so you know there's a spirit there. You know what I'm saying? There's a spirit about poets that don't exist in all other kind of people. You know what I'm saying?
True.
It's more of a oneness and in tuneness with nature. You feel me?
So do you all consider yourself storytellers?
At times.
Yeah.
Storytellers? They really okay.
I had a question. I lost it. Right quick.
What you say that?
I lost it.
Trying to talk.
Dead air.
What I'm saying, hold on. All right. What is the most challenging aspect of poetry?
Kind of conjugate the words together for something that you feeling at that particular time.
So basically, wordplay.
Yeah, because you just don't want to keep replaying the same words over and over and over again. That become rudimentary.
Right.
And you don't want to do that. You gotta really show that you have vocabulary skill. You gotta show that you actually went and did some research on what you're talking about. You gotta actually show that you put some effort into doing this. You just think like you said earlier, roses red, violets are blue. I love you. It's, you know, that's elementary.
Don't take. Hold up, son. Hold up. That's from my old lady. Don't take that. I gotta use that one. I gotta use that one. My anniversary coming up and shit.
Well, hopefully by the end of the show you'll have something else to add on to it.
Yeah.
You can write her a new poem by the end of the
Yeah.
show.
No,
Yeah.
roses are red, violets are blue. I love you. That's it.
Nah, Joe.
Straight to the point.
Nah, Joe.
That's spoken word. I spoke it. It's words and it's done.
True, but
And
how
she
many
gonna
times
feel
have
it
you
because
said
I'm gonna
it?
stand up and I'm gonna.
But at the
But
same time, I
see-
mean, like, I know you said them 3 different phrases
See,
at different points of time, so you can't just commingle them. You gotta add something else to it. That's why I said by the end of the show, you
I
might
love
have
you,
something.
boo.
he gonna stomp
Really?
his feet. When he stomp his feet,
When you
Yeah,
just
when I
snap
stomp,
your
that's my
fingers
script.
before
That's my
work.
delivery. And I'm gonna
What's
stand
stomp?
back. And I'm gonna look at her. And she gonna feel it. And she gonna be like, oh, you know. I can't knock my spoken word.
You giving it all away though.
I'll get right. It's from my
Yeah,
heart.
probably
It's
watching
it's
this
from
game.
here.
But she probably listening. She
understanding
probably
now.
like, oh, I know her.
Oh, damn. Oh,
Yeah, see that. See
babe,
that.
don't listen to that. I'm gonna have a new one. I promise.
We'll see. No matter what kind, even if you do use that, as long as you put your emphasis behind it and add something that is you to it,
Okay.
it is your own.
Okay. So it's basically a stamp. Do all y'all have a stamp with y'all spoken word? Is it something I can say? This is you. This is you. Oh, I heard that. Oh, that's my favorite. All day.
I guess my stand is, from what everybody else is telling me, it's the pain that's in my voice. That's what everybody else is telling me. Because you're not going to hear me doing those little soft, I love you, kisses. Even those come with pain and, you know what I mean, all the aggression and everything. So that's probably mine. I get really into it when I know about art.
Emotion.
You're right.
The
You know what I'm
emotions just
saying?
can't see through. Yeah, that's
If you think about it, you remember all of that stuff by heart, like, it take a lot to remember all of that. You know what I mean? That's what I was going to say. Sometimes it's remembering what I wrote. You know what I'm saying? It's my hardest part of delivering. I know so many different, I mix them up sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ad-lib
Some of
sometimes.
those.
Right.
But most of the time you can kind of catch yourself and kind of just play it over and nobody ever knows. You're like, okay. So,
It's been a minute since I remember any of my poetry. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Let's go.
I've been busy doing me.
That's what's up.
But I'll be official with it.
Exactly.
It ain't that far from you. I know you ready to spit it any moment. It's in you. It's in your heart. I can feel it. It's over here. Y'all got a lot of energy coming from over here. Y'all don't feel it. I don't know about y'all over here. What? Roses are red, violets are blue. What I just said, you listen to me. She
My
trying to take my
cousin in
stuff
the
back
corner
into
over
me.
there, she a poet too.
But
so we got a room full of poets.
we got a room full of poets today. This is what it is. This is the
You know.
poetry. This is
I ain't
the
even know
poetry
that.
room. Fuck the poetry corner. This is the poetry room, the building. You know what I'm saying? This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take us a break though.
You already ain't
I know you ready, Big Teddy Bo. We're gonna let you
Nah.
announce our breaks.
Shit, we be having breaks every 30 minutes.
But when we come back, we're gonna get back into these poets, and apparently we got some more poets in the building, and we're gonna get them to share just a little bit of themselves with their poetry, just to get you a little understanding of how they deliver themselves and what part of the spoken word branch of the tree they on.
Oh yeah, we
You know
got a
what I'm
couple of
saying?
more questions for him.
We got a lot more questions.
Yeah, a lot
It
more.
gets a little deep, but we got a little poetry and that's and polymath. You know what I'm saying? We did our little research and everything, so we gonna come back in about 15. And we gonna get it back in with these poets and add some new poets apparently. So y'all hang tight, cool out, listen to this music, and we'll be back.
stone. Tell me where did we go wrong? Thinking of times we used to share, jump in the car, go anywhere, leaving our troubles in the air. Girl, you mean the world to me. You got me in ecstasy when I'm with you. You feel so right lying next to me. I don't know where I would be without you. I can't just let you walk away and ruin everything that I planned for us, oh baby. Hey, I see you made your way to the front door. I had to stop, you don't want you to go. I had to stop cause I want you to know. Baby, you mean the world to me. You got me ecstasy when I'm with you. Baby, you feel so right lying next to me. I don't know where I would be without you. So right, lying next to me. I don't know where I would be without you.
We are back.
You already know we back in the building.
We on time too.
Yeah, having some stimulating conversation about pork products.
That is not stimulating.
Man, we gonna let that go though.
Stimulating conversation about
Because I
pork
like
products.
pork.
What about it?
Man,
No.
no, we don't
No.
even.
No.
No,
You
man.
good?
No.
Bacon,
No.
pork chops,
No about that. We don't need
pork chops and chunky.
Yep.
turkey
Tonight.
No swine, no swine.
No swine.
Turkey bacon is nasty.
Turkey bacon. Turkey bacon smell like goddamn leather.
Cooking it wrong.
This shit gonna be
Turkey
like
bacon
turkey
is
bacon.
nasty.
No.
that, okay?
Y'all cooking
My
it
mother
wrong.
eats turkey bacon.
Turkey
No
is not a
reason.
bacon.
Give me some
Why you do
regular
that?
bacon.
Just give me some turkey with my breakfast. Don't give me no turkey bacon.
Regular turkey.
Shit.
You making me mad, man.
It's
But
delicious.
you already
Turkey
know.
bacon. What is
we,
Turkey bacon is turkey, ham is pork. Man.
Right.
Oh man,
Because bacon is.
all that shit, all that shit.
All that shit you love.
Bruh. But yeah, we got some new faces in the building. Well, not really new faces, some familiar faces, but they new to the building today. You feel what I'm saying? Go ahead, let everybody know who y'all is in the building.
Well, I'm back again. Taryn called me on the lesbian review.
You already know.
You know?
Big T, Big T in the building. You already know. You already know.
How you been, Tara? How you been, baby?
Cooling, fresh off the job.
Fresh off the
Tired
job.
as fuck.
I'm
I
right.
ain't gonna lie.
What you gonna do when you get home?
Go to sleep.
Right. You ain't gonna eat nothing?
Playing
All
Get
that.
some
We
Popeye
get some
chicken. or
turkey bacon.
Turkey bacon.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Extra hot sauce.
You gonna stank up the whole damn block with that
Turkey
shit.
ham is pork.
Is somebody burning leather?
All right.
But and Miss Nene over there. What's up, sweetie? How you doing?
You ain't sick
Fine.
today.
You ain't sick
I know.
today, huh?
I know.
Feeling good?
Yeah.
So it looks like you're revived. And
What
you
a
look-
wine.
Today's
It's
Sunday.
Sunday.
You know
It's
we
sober
we gotta
Sundays.
purge
There's no
ourselves.
grapes on
Yeah.
Sunday.
You know how I
It's
wish
the Bible Belt. You know,
We
we
gotta
gotta
What
purge
happened
ourselves.
was they forgot to get it last night.
Why you gave us up? Why you gave us up?
I probably wouldn't even drunk to
The
be
bull,
honest.
you can go to Conyers and get it on Sunday.
I mean,
I
right
like
now
drink, I
we
like
talking
too much,
poetry, we talking art. We should have some grapes in our hand.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
it's not
Grapes and
artistic
snaps.
without
Right, for real. We smoking cigarettes and
Yeah,
shit.
no.
We should have some
Gotta
grapes
get
in the
grapes,
building. You know
Not
what
like
I'm
that one
saying?
episode. Y'all
cigarettes and water do not mix
But, yeah, we
well.
was all right.
Cigarettes.
Yeah, the whole screen was
Yeah.
clouded.
I was squinting.
Right.
We needed
You was
that.
squinting at home, huh? That's
Definitely
what's
needed
up.
that.
But we back, you know what I'm saying? With
Back
the
with our
poet,
poets.
the poets in here, you know what I'm
already
saying?
know.
They ain't left us. You know what I'm saying? They still
You
up
feel
in
me?
here.
I want to jump right back into it, man, because I just want to know this. Really. Is spoken word a black thing? You feel what I'm saying? Like, is it a black thing?
No.
No.
I mean, I know it's not. I mean, right, because we just found this little Asian chick, you feel what I'm saying? And she, like, strong and powerful with the spoken word man she was watching earlier today, or whatever, you hear me? So, you know, that's kind of like a little...
Straight up Asian.
Right.
And she doing
She's
it
all
in Asia. You know what I'm saying? So it definitely has reached the spans of other countries, you know what I'm saying? I know it pretty much originated right here, you know what I'm saying? Because we in America, and especially Black America, we trendsetters. We start shit first, always, you know what I'm saying? I know by reasonable doubt that spoken word has been in Black communities forever, you know what I'm saying?
Well, check this out. I just checked this out on Wikipedia.com, but it says spoken word did not evolve into the late 1980s and early 1990s with the emergence of poetry slams, where spoken word artists would square off in cabaret-style duels. This type of competitive poetry slam event has been popular in India for centuries.
India?
In India, nigga.
Ain't nothing started in America.
You know what I'm saying? No, they say spoken word did, but not the way that spoken word emerged, like the platform for it. The platform for spoken word started in India. You know what I'm saying? And they say in the United States, the competition of a poetry slam probably arose from rap music and rap battles. You know what I'm saying? The common element is protest and a critical or corrective tone. You know what I'm saying? So that's a quick history on
Spoken word.
Spoken
Okay.
word right quick.
So it still sounds like it started in the Black communities, you know?
Yeah.
As usual.
Right. I mean,
It's-
And
it's-
that's
it's
where
like
the
rap
pain
music.
is, man. That's where the struggle is. That's where you can do this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? You can be felt, because I know I feel it. You know,
Bruh.
I've been in everybody's situation pretty much. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, shit.
Yo, Kilo Taco Bell in here.
Ain't none of that.
Yeah,
My water.
we have another visitor. He don't do poetry. Or it's a she, huh? She don't do poetry, but she in here with us. Look at it, hey, man.
She embarked for you know.
That's what's up, man. But what freedoms do spoken word give you out? What freedoms do you feel like you gain when you into your spoken word? You're doing your thing?
Expression. That's the most freedom you can get.
Mhm.
Freedom to express whatever's on your mind, whatever's on your heart, whatever's going through right at that moment in time. You
That
know
First
to
Amendment,
express.
right?
That we really ain't even got no more.
Right.
You say too much wrong stuff, you're gonna get sued and it's over with.
Right. Okay, so is there any secret poems that you keep for yourself that's only for yourself? Or is any of y'all spoken word pretty much for whoever gonna listen and whoever you can touch, like you say, is pretty much for the people? I heard Allison say that it's, you know, she wanna touch people with hers. Is that everybody goes?
You know what I'm saying?
Do you have your own personal poems that's just for Allison?
Not really.
Not really. As long as it can inspire, then you feel.
Yeah, I don't like to be a secret poem.
I gotta be honest. I might write something for somebody. I don't know what else. here, but other than that, I hear the rest of them.
Certain stuff just ain't meant to be put in the public eye.
Exactly.
There's a letter to my enemies that I won't see.
Right.
True stuff.
Okay, so there's no secret poems going on. Everybody, I can pretty much get a poem out of everybody, just like that. And do your poems speak of you directly? So I can say that Allison, when I hear your poetry, it speaks directly from Allison, and I can reference your life to your words and get an idea about you.
Most of my stuff, I may have a couple that I wrote for other people, but I've been through similar situations, but it might not necessarily be completely about me. But and you can probably tell the difference in those too. You know what I mean? So, by the way I deliver it, you know. When you say they force somebody, do you ever let them know, or do you perform it? No, when I mean by force somebody is when somebody comes to me, like we was talking about earlier. Oh, and you write for them? Right, and I write down what... Yeah. Is that possible? To write in the other person's perspective? If you listen hard enough, yeah. Okay. By their words and how they express themselves to you, that's wow.
But it's a biography.
Right. Of whoever you're talking about, whoever the dealings is or whatever. That's why I need you. Do you hear my poem was messed up just now? So you can help me. I can tell you what I want to what to do. You just tell me what point you're trying to get across. Tell me some things that you've been through that you want to reference in the poem. You know what I'm saying? And we can make it work. You know, but I would help you. I know you. Yeah, I need help. Yeah. You heard mine. I know mine was sorry. Okay, I admit it. After the break, I admit my shit was sorry. All right. But
catch the ass straight.
How would you encourage young poets to come about getting into the spoken word? Like, because a lot of people are afraid to display themselves in that way. You know, they artists, and like you said, they are secret. Like I said, they are a secret poem that people keep for themselves, and it's only for yourself. And then they die, and you find these books of memoirs stacked to wazoo, and they ain't never told nobody nothing. So, what advice would you give young poets or people coming under you that need to express themselves?
It's an expression of yourself. Don't allow what somebody might think about it to keep you from expressing it. It's how you feel. It's you. You know what I'm saying? Can't nobody tell you not to be yourself. If that's who you are and that's how you feeling, then just let it be known. Don't keep it to yourself. You know.
Just let your emotion be like water. Let it flow.
Yeah.
My advice would be start out slow and never be scared.
Gradually put yourself into positions where you all, everything take baby steps sometimes. You don't get everybody say, okay, I'm gonna lay it out all on the table. Here's me. No, I mean, it gets a certain respect, with it too. So I can understand that. Fox, what you say? How you feel about? Because you're a young lyricist too. You know what I'm saying? What would you give the young cats? To let them know. Don't be afraid to express their rhyme. I got a lot of friends that do that.
Start all y'all shit off like Erica Badu. Say I'm an artist, so I'm sensitive about my shit. And keep moving, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing you can do. My mentality is fuck what you got to say about me. I'ma say it and somebody gonna feel it. And that's the mentality you gotta have in life, period. Not just if you perform some work, you know what I'm saying? Anything you take on that you got a passion for. To hell with somebody think about it, because there's always gonna be 80 people saying hell nah to the 2 people that's saying hell yeah. You feel me?
You can please some of the people some of the time, they'll please all the people all the time.
Amen.
Don't even try. Don't even try.
I think you should read it to yourself first, and if you feel comfortable with, how you feel, pretend like it's an audience there, and see how you feel after you put yourself out there, and you comfortable with it, then, like you said, forget what everybody else thinks because you comfortable with it, So,
is it too revealing? You think people feel like it's too revealing?
That's the point of the whole, recite to yourself first, and if you feel like it's too revealing, then that's gonna be one of your secret poems.
Secret poem.
Get in the mirror and do it.
You are your biggest critic. You know what I'm saying? Can't nobody critique you harsher than you can yourself. So if you don't like how it sounds to yourself, just keep working on it.
That's what's up. So when did you all know that y'all had this talent? When did you first start putting these thoughts and these feelings to words, to paper, to the world? When did y'all first start doing that? When did you know that this is what it's gonna be?
I think I might have been young. I was real young when I started. I just do it, like I write it down, and I don't never let nobody see it until like later on, like years later. I'll be like, I did this. I might not like it, but somebody else might. That's when I started.
I started about 12, 13, stopped for a while, and when I went to the joint, that's when it came back all over again because you ain't got nothing but yourself in time.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
I started writing when I was like 7, and I've just been writing ever since. It's just a release for me. Anything that I be going through, just write about it.
What's up? Miss Nate, what about you? You just started last week, huh? She started a month ago. I've been getting at it. But what you say, man? Allison, what you say?
I was gonna say I was inspired, but my teachers had to like persuade me that I was a good writer.
High school?
No, elementary school. Yeah, they used to always tell me you a good writer to be in the 3rd grade. You know, they used to always tell me that, and I didn't ever jump out there with it. So I got to college, and I just kind of performed. Me and Raynard did it. Matter of fact, you know, remember that day?
Yeah,
and we went. And it was funny because like we won Mr. and Mrs. Talent that day. And that was really my, you know.
Congrats, man. That's what's up. It started early, huh?
That was my first time really, you know, putting it out there in front of somebody. And I was like, when I saw the reaction from the crowd, I was like, for real?
Wow.
And then it was like, okay, you know, and Raynard was already doing it though, you know.
Say, bro, how many talents do you have, bro? Every show we find out you do something different.
Everybody listen, I am a polymath.
Yes.
Every time the show starts, son do something different. They be like, damn, so you do that too?
You know what I'm saying? And they don't know Mr. Me Too either. I do this shit.
That's what's up, dog.
I'm actually, I am a poet's public too, man. I mean, a published poet. I said poet's public. You know what I'm saying?
You got works out there, big dog?
Yeah, I got a piece out there. It's called Woman, man. I can't recite it for you, so don't ask me, but you know, you remember poetry.com?
One of those secret poems.
Yeah, man, I got lots of stuff on it.
Me too.
I
did
won.
too.
You feel me? They sent me my
The little letter and told you. Yeah, I got like 5 of those. Put me in a book. I got the little CD, and I was like, oh, I'm accomplished.
Feel good about it.
They put me in the
Yeah,
book.
they put me in the book. Got the CD. They sent me a little mail and a little trophy and stuff. I was like, Mama, look at this.
Right. So you all are actively putting y'all stuff out there for competition, really?
Well, you know, you got to. That was a long time ago, but still, either way, you as an artist, you want to put your stuff out there with other artists. You know what I'm saying? You want to see what kind of reaction you're gonna get from one of your peers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? From a like kind.
Right.
But yeah.
If you could let anybody hear your stuff, who would it be? If you let
Dead or alive.
Dead or alive, right? Who would you want to let hear you?
Nikki.
Hey, I was waiting. You see me sitting there waiting like I know you're gonna say it. If you say anybody else, I might jump up, man.
Miss Allison said she would like the kids to hear her, and I think that's
Powerful.
That's what I mean.
Man.
They the future.
You gotta touch them first.
Like you gotta kind of get them while they early, while they young. You know.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, start with the children. So definitely start with the children. So you got well enough time to do that. You know, you starting right now. You know what I'm saying? With letting people know different aspects about spoken word. Cause it's like one of those things that people kind of scared of. Spoken word. I used to thought it was like some weirdo cult back in the day. Like, what you going in that coffee bar drinking all that damn coffee for, y'all? Turtlenecks up the hill with, you know, the little. It's crazy. Snappy fingers.
Yeah, they used to get me. I'd be like, why are they got the little berets? And some people coming there with the little gloves. They had like the whole little outfit. They just.
That was their persona,
right? Yeah. Little persona used to like get me like.
You know, that's the thing that tripped me out though, cause
I do that, but I don't dress like that in mine.
It's like wearing all that black, and you a white spoken word artist. You know, you want them the beatniks and stuff. You feel me? All that black are used in a sense. You know, you got the black turtlenecks. Everything but your head is in black. Everything
black
but your hands, your legs, your feet. You know what I'm saying? Are you trying to synonymize with I ain't nobody here white, but I'm just trying to figure out, they trying to synonymize with like the black poet and the black struggle, but in the white way. So this is why they wear all that black.
Well, maybe they were trying to say we got struggles too. You know, listen to what we got, but we had to listen to y'all for all them years.
Exactly. Y'all done gave us
no offense to anybody who might be listening.
Yeah, but yeah, you know.
I don't know. I just think they're trying to pull more attention to their face.
Okay.
And make them stick out a little more. Because, like you say, it started with us, and they had to make an image about themselves some kind of way.
It's like the Bojangles. You already know the white man put the white face on.
Yeah, put the black face.
The black face on. That's how he put the black face.
Yeah, the minstrel shows and shit. You feel me? Amos and Andy and shit. You know.
Right. So you know they've been doing it for years, but it's okay.
It's okay. We feel y'all.
We shall overcome. Say that.
One day, huh?
One day. But yeah, like what I had. What separates female spoken word from male spoken word? I'm glad we got
I know that we're sometimes categorized to be the people that do the lovey-dovey stuff sometimes, but that's not us all the time. You know what I'm saying? We got different aspects. We have pain, we have grief, sadness. We go through trials and stuff. You know.
Only thing I feel that separate us is the fact women go through different struggles with Eve's curse and the rest of that stuff. Then we go through because we ain't gonna.
I'm glad you said that, brother, because I was gonna crack a bad joke and I'd probably get flogged in here. But I'm glad you said that. You know, so
he saved you, huh?
He saved me. Yes, he spoke on it. But I was gonna say that's the only thing that probably different. You know what I'm saying? Women are the more emotional creatures. You feel me? Y'all have to raise families, and you know what I'm saying. Even when you got a husband in the house, or you know what I'm saying, that other that's there with you, you still have to hold that position down. You feel me? So. Your poetry come from more of a, you know what I'm saying, like you say, you got the Eve's curse, you feel me? You got that spiritual energy you got to release. You saying more so us, we got anger, you need testosterone, you know what I'm saying? Ours is more aggressive, yours is more that stuff that'll really heal somebody. Ours is just that some shit that'll rile niggas up and have us marching.
At the same time, you got the female artists that can go ahead and rile up a whole city, a nation, and get them ready to ride.
Nikki Giovanni, as we been saying, you feel me? Yeah.
Mine too. It all depends on that person and how they feel it and how they express it and how they give forth to it. Because everybody got anger built inside. It's just how you gonna release it, and then you gonna release it in the right or wrong way.
Yeah. So there's definitely no gender lines when it comes down to spoken word. You know, no differences in male or female spoken word. We both genders can pretty much get the message going. Right? That's what's up. Now, if y'all don't know, we always have our rappers come in here and do a little something in the booth. Now, we would like to ask our poets in here, would y'all like to share some of y'all spoken word for our audience and, you know, give them a little taste of who you are? Ain't no pressure. I mean, it ain't no big deal, but, you know, just would you like to share any of your poetry with them in any capacity?
Because the people want it now. It's not just us wanting it. They've
been waiting, you know what I'm saying? So is that a confirmation from all our poets? Thumbs up for my poets. Well, guess what we gonna do? We gonna take us another break. You know, and we gonna get everything right. And you know what I'm saying? Our poets are gonna come in here and they gonna give it to you raw, just like we always do. You know what I'm saying? With the spoken word on Polymath Radio. Y'all stay tuned. right, everybody, we back. And as promised, we got our poets. They're going to share some of their spoken word and their poetry with us right now. So I want y'all give them y'all ear and y'all respect and y'all heart and let them go and let them do their thing. Janae, you up first, sweetheart.
I'm just playing. I wrote this in 2005. It's called Jealousy. You think it's gone, but it's still there. You say you don't, but you really do care. You say you're not mad, but at heart at heart you really are. You have no choice but to hide it before it goes too far. You saw a future with this girl, but so did your friend. You tried to talk to her, but your friend got her in the end. You try to put it behind you, but your mind goes back to the past. You finally think it's gone, but it comes back real fast. You get mad at your friend, but you love him like a brother. You're happy to have a friend like that now, but there may not be another. Now you look at the girl you saw as your future wife and have no choice but to call her your sister for life. Jealousy is a persistent and manipulative sin, but only a fool would ruin a friendship by letting jealousy win.
All right. Snap, snap. That's right.
Who's next? Oh.
Miss Allison is up next, y'all. Oh, just let me flow.
Okay, I guess I'll do a piece called My Biggest Fear. My soul is headed for eternal damnation, and I've been caught in the wrath of heat of hell's breath. I am the author to the chronicles of the enigma of my purpose, and thanks to Dr. King, because now I have a dream, which has become the submission to my light. I am the invisible boogeyman, and I have eyes in the back of my head like those 5th grade teachers used to tell us ghetto kids in the hood, which is something I never quite understood, like how Miss Jackson's back was always turned, but she always managed to catch me peeking off my partner's paper. Damn, no recess for a week. But see, now that I'm grown, I've put my childish toys away, and I've learned the hard way that you can only get hurt if you play the game. That's why my name's always been the same, just let me flow. Teaching my seeds like Mandinka warriors not to prove the fallacy that niggas are gonna choose money and bitches over knowledge. But for my people of macaroni and cheese and fried chicken and collard green descent, I have the faith of the 13th disciple, and I have the strength to carry the cross of my own crucifixion, and the courage to go toe-to-toe with my biggest fear, myself.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Let's roll. Let's roll. Keep it going. I like the energy, baby.
This one called African Family. Inside this mind, I need to rewind the time and go back into ancient years. To before niggas was calling us bitches and hoes and the girls next door, I wonder what there's a fear. You see, a nigga with a thug mentality could think enough to corrupt my younger brother into thinking he's a G. No, sit back and freeze. Cause one day you'll meet you a black queen. Treat her with royalty cause you ain't no fool. Treat her with respect, thinking back to what your mama told you. Instead of play hating and regulating, we recuperating from the bullet that shattered the African pride. But we are like Maya Angelou, cause still we rise. Mommies and daddies and kings and queens, me and my sister the princesses of their dreams. Black people, we gotta come clean. My African family.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Miss Mika is up next.
This is called Caught Up. Caught up in the spinning cycle of do they or do they not, will they or will they not. Complications arising at the woodwork like termites in your foundation, creating pockets of suspicion, leading to the never-ending investigation of if I did it to them, will they do it to me? Starting to feel guilty thinking about if you ever held their heart, knowing the extent of just how they felt, only to say you will or I'll be your ride or die. And then at the first sign of a test of your loyalty is your position you resign. You pass back the title and all the responsibilities that came with the relationship, taking you out of the you and me, that when used together makes up we, who are someone love, have everybody thinking we were meant to be, and we never break up. Making up is so hard to do, don't know if this time will remain true. Tired of the games being played for your heart and the schemes to blow your mind. You feel like everything has a time bomb. Taking it out to the last second as it gets close. It's like it's synced with your heartbeat, or perhaps it's fear you hear. Feel that after all you've done, karma came back like a bitch and decided to streak a bag 'em, tag 'em, string 'em along, and push 'em away has come to an end. But it's your turn for the turbulent ride. Riding a roller coaster of emotions, never sure just where the next dip is or what could come up that would turn your life upside down. Wish it was just a loop or a quick flip or something you can quit quick. Life isn't easy, it's hard, it's your full-time job, so don't be a punk and take the easy way out. Suicide isn't manly or womanly, it's just straight up cowardly. You leave all these people wondering why you did it, and did you really have to die? Leaving other people to answer the never-ending question of why. Why didn't I be a better boyfriend or girlfriend? Why didn't I just let go and love with all I had? Why? So much life to live and why? Way too much love to give. Both seemingly empty because you decided to resign and now you sit there and sigh. Remember all the times you shared and the things you never did. Slipping into a depression thinking, didn't they know I cared? Didn't they know they were loved? Not knowing they wanted to be in love, not just love. What's the difference, you might ask? But if you can't tell the difference, then it's your reason and need to stay and live and learn. But you're at a stance on this roller coaster of life, a spinning cycle of do they or do they not, will they or will they not survive?
Okay, this is Problems. I wrote it in 06. At a young age, I had a thirst for knowledge, and the world was my cup, so I eagerly devoured until the information processed made me feel violent. My mind began to sour. This last decade wasn't just a simple rainfall. It was a monstrous monsoon of showers. It started off with McVeigh taking down the Oklahoma Federal Building to Bush destroying the towers. Next came the D.C. snipers having us fearing to go get gas because they picking people off like flowers, while Mississippi and New Orleans disappearing under thousands of gallons of water. Now, who was it that said Iraq had weapons of mass destruction? He must not have noticed North Korea threatening us with nukes, making us look like cowards. Or we mustn't forget China's on the verge of becoming the next superpower. Our money is tied up in war and foreign import-export, but I'm still confused wondering why the government signed a deal giving the Saudis control of our eastern seaports. A tsunami happened halfway across the world, and for that I feel their pain. But the government sent money, manpower, and airplanes to other places. 2 of our states almost get washed away, and there's no money for rebuilding or to maintain. Now that's just insane. Now my thirst for knowledge as a child I wish didn't start, but now there's no turning back. The hands of time and enjoy all the ignorant parts.
And that's how we do it here at Parliament, baby. You know what I'm saying? Poetry up in this baby.
You already know.
You heard me? What you got to say about that, Fox? What you think about all that, bro?
Oh man, that was all powerful, man. All powerful.
I thought I was about to cry.
Hey, you feel me? You see, I got quiet, dog. I had to sit back, man.
I was trying to fight him back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know, too tough for all that shit, nigga.
Right.
What's wrong with you, boy?
That's what's up, man. We gonna get on out of here, man. We appreciate everybody, man. Our artists, our poets, excuse me. We love y'all for coming through, man. Sharing that
Really
with us,
do,
man. That's
y'all gave the people what
man.
they
Y'all
wanted,
take
and
my
we
breath away,
appreciate
man.
y'all.
When I think about it, sometimes, because it's a God-given talent, and y'all represent it to the fullest, man. We love y'all here at Potty, man. You know what I'm saying? Teddy Bo, what we gonna do?
Dog, we gonna thank the Lord for these good artists. You feel what I'm saying? Gave us this good knowledge today. You feel what I'm saying? Got us feeling good. You feel what I'm saying? We probably gonna have a good week this week. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes,
That's
sir.
right.
Together over here at Parliament for y'all. So you already know we're gonna continue doing it like this, yeah.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. All right, man. We're going to snap it up out here before we get ready to get on down. Snapping it up. Polyman Radio. www.polymanentertainment.com. Want y'all check us out. Y'all know y'all love us already. You know what I'm saying? So keep checking us out. We're going to keep coming with it. You know what I'm saying? And just keep tuned in. Tell a friend, tell a mama, tell a daddy, tell anybody you want to let everybody know what's going on over here, man, because we bringing it. How y'all feel? We get ready to get out of here?
You already
All right, we gone, y'all. Peace.
Peace out.
All
Peace
good.
out.